Hello, my dear friends. Welcome back. Today I want to discuss the hard truth about finding shifts of gratitude while in a state of depression. Stick around till the end. You'll want to hear this whole story. So, first, I want to talk about that feeling, that relentless exhaustion. I'm talking about the one when you're going to bed tired, waking up tired, and being sick and tired all day. Having no sense of motivation, just doing what you have to because you have to. I know this feeling. I've been there more than once, and for me, I had to face a harsh truth. My depression, at its core, was a profound weakness in ambition and action, saying nothing about the low self-esteem, the lack of self-love, and the feeling of defeat. It was a form of self-pity that I was trapped in. I didn't know it was self-pity at the time. Nobody does. You know, it was actually the stories of my past and some present drama stories that seemed to keep repeating day after day that kept me in those chains of failure. It wasn't that I was having negative thoughts. I tried to be positive most of the time anyway, but it was there, nagging at me every single day. I was stuck in a rut of sameness with little satisfaction, feeling like I had nothing to live for. I felt like a burden, and that the people around me just accepted me because they had to. I felt everyone's pain and problems as if they were my own. One of the things that bothered me is that I was the one who did the dirty work that no one else ever wanted to do. The jobs that need to be done but get taken for granted and are always expected to be done, and done right or else. The jobs that get no appreciation, no, wow, good job, not even a like. You know the jobs I'm talking about, right? The ones that, if they were not done, that's when everyone notices, and it isn't a notice of appreciation for having always done it before. It turns into complaints because it isn't done now. When I turned my own complaints from having to do these things into the reflection of being able to do them, things began to shift again. I started getting a thanks once in a while, a few likes more often, and even an occasional pat on the back. I thought I needed these things in order to feel good about myself. I thought that their noticing was important. A little appreciation is nice once in a while, but people get busy, they get lost in their own little world, not on purpose. It just happens. It doesn't mean they don't care, they just expect it, and when it is not done or done right, it messes with their own expectations. So that's where I was wrong. And here is where you may be wrong also. They don't always show it, and maybe sometimes you forget to show it too, but people do care, and people do love. You must be willing to accept it. Start saying thanks more often to those around you and giving a pat on the back once in a while. Even if you don't think they deserve it, you will see it'll start happening to you as well. I had to finally let go of my own self-denial and the denial of my higher self and become willing to learn the steps, because the way I was living, I know this might sound harsh, but I might as well have been dead. I wasn't ready for that. I had to find a way out without it killing me again. What I mean by again is that the darkness consumed me and my whole body started shutting down. I tell that story in my video. I hit rock bottom, died, and awoke. Be sure to check that out. I do want to say that my near-death experience was not as glamorous as everyone else says, and I hid the memory of it even from myself for 9 years. During those 9 years, I lived in an emotional fog. Nothing had changed, except that I quit drinking. It was like I was a sober drunk. I did come back, changed in other ways. I was full of forgiveness. I no longer blamed the world or other people for my problems, and I started taking responsibility for my own actions and reactions. I was grateful for getting a second chance. My self-awareness was my first shift. I think this is the only thing that was keeping me sober. Now, I want you to know that things happen in shifts, and they come in many different ways. You can usually feel it inside your body when it happens. But not always. Sometimes you may surprise yourself. Another one of the shifts in my path started in the simplest way. It was a shift into gratitude for all that is. As I was walking through a field one day, I stopped. I noticed the tops of the tall grass. They weren't the same, they were all different. It was no longer plain old grass anymore. It was beautiful, like tiny distinct flowers and so many different types. Slowly, I started noticing lots of other things. The sheer abundance of creation in this world. The plants, the birds, the animals, the stars, everything. The diversity of it all is so inspiring. For the first time in a long time, I became amazed and deeply grateful. I began to see the abundance in everything all around me, not because I earned it, but because it was there, everywhere. I came to accept and appreciate all of it. Most of all, I started appreciating myself a bit more, realizing that even though I didn't get any appreciation for my efforts, I became grateful for just being able to do it. This was another shift. My thoughts were no longer on, I have to do that. It became, I get to do that, and I'm so grateful that I can. With gratitude filling my heart with light, this is not a joke, if you focus and pay attention, you can really feel the energy shifts within your body. When the electricity from the vibrational frequency adjustment, my heart became full of abundance, and then I began to live in abundance, and abundance started following me around. After a while, I felt feelings of love for myself start creeping in. It was then that I finally realized the people around me really did care. It took many massive shifts to get here. For me, it took hitting rock bottom with addiction to alcohol, a terrifying near-death experience, years of being sick to my stomach and going through useless surgeries, to a crazy wake-up call, and even to being grateful for the little things in life, like grass, birds, and to all of diversity itself. I am still receiving shifts and transformation here and there, but I can truly tell you that I do remember what it was like to feel lost, alone, and unloved, even with family and friends all around who loved and cared about me. But I was too blind, too ungrateful to see it. You see, we wrap ourselves up in a tight, hard little nutshell, believing it protects us. But this shell becomes a tomb, a wall of self-destruction where we blame others, the world, or the past for our misery, all while trapping ourselves inside. Another one of my shifts was a bit on the painful side. I was smacked in the face by a cuckoo clock. What a crazy wake-up call that was, let me tell you. If you are depressed, it may take a smack in the face for you too, or some other drastic realization that you are stuck and you need to find a way out. Being stuck or on the wrong path may show up as physical problems, emotional problems, mental problems, not meaning crazy, but constant worry or stress, making it feel as though you are going a bit nuts. Were you aware that even spiritual denial, such as denial of your own soul and not believing in yourself, will cause you not only health problems, but emotional and mental problems as well? And the only way to come out is to start raising your vibration and stepping out of the shadows. Well, how do you do that? By believing you can, and by taking steps, and by learning to listen is a big step. So pay attention and please listen, not just to me, but also those around you. Listen to your own instincts. Listen without judgment, without blame, and without harsh criticism. Another big step is to pay attention. Pay attention to those buttons that get pushed. I know you don't go around pushing people's buttons just to get them going. I hope you don't anyway. The universe will just use that against you, not because it wants to punish you, but because it is a universal law, the law of cause and effect, and the universe holds everyone in accordance with its own laws, no exceptions. I do realize some people do enjoy pushing buttons. I have seen it, and it's a shame, but they do it. So that's why you must pay attention and catch when this is happening, so it doesn't get out of control. Because most of the time, it is just their attitude and automatic programming peeking out. Not meaning any harm, just being their old bummed out self in front of you. Don't let this get to you. Don't let their attitude of being bummed be something that pushes your buttons. I talk a lot about buttons, and I will continue, because it is a big step for transformation to occur. If you could just gain control of those buttons and put them on mute, your nervous system will calm down, even if those around you do not. I have to tell you that you won't snap out of a stagnant frequency overnight, and the pain does not go away instantly. It takes time and practice. But please, don't give up. The attention you give to the reality of your own life is worth it. You must start today by realizing your own worth. You are worth the effort. I really mean that. But the only one who can get you started is you. You need to stand up, get up, and do something about it before this darkness consumes you. It really can eat you alive, and it feels like hell. If you only knew how difficult it was for me to say I love you to myself, especially in front of a mirror. That is one of the times I had to go with that phrase, fake it till you make it. I knew it was an important step, so I kept taking that step day after day. And now I can freely say I deeply and completely love and accept myself without it making me flinch. Believe me, there is forgiveness, there is hope, and there is help. Here is a little secret. It is difficult to find gratitude while you are in a deep state of depression. So, you must want to find it first. Even if you think your life sucks, you must find one thing to be grateful for. It can be anything. No matter how silly it may seem to others, do not let their judgment of you destroy your efforts to become a better you. Because, for me, it was just noticing how awesome grass is. How silly is that? But it is true. You must break free from what others think about you. Stop letting them control you. You will be grateful you did. Your life and purpose depend on it. You are a spiritual being, and until you allow yourself to shine, you will be stuck in that darkness. Stop hanging on to those dark chains. I had to plant a seed of hope in my mind, my body, and my soul. And from there, it began to grow. I nurtured it with knowledge, reading, learning about self-sabotage, and practicing gratitude. I took courses, went to seminars, one-on-one coaching. I became so interested in this new awareness of the human energy system that I became Reiki certified and was intuitively inspired to design a physical toolbox for everyday use. It is a unique masterpiece. I am hoping to have them showing up in the market soon. But for now, free the shell. Tear down the walls. It is more comforting and less painful when, instead of breaking, you sprout into growth from the inside. When that nurturing comes from within, you realize your true power, and more things to be grateful for will show up. That is a life worth living. Go plant your seed. Nurture your shell. An important message here is you do not have to wait for a disaster to force your hand. The choice for growth is yours. If you want some more truths, check out my other videos on mindfulness and emotions. Remember to subscribe and hit notifications to find out what sort of awareness I will share next. I want to thank you for your time and for staying. I appreciate you. And please remember to keep up with your journal. See you next time, my dear friends.